Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And let's get into it. This is a spoiler review for Ironheart's episodes 4 through 6. Now again, to really hammering the fact that we are going to be talking about spoilers in this one. Spoilers. Warning, if you have not watched the last 3 episodes yet, this is your time to click out of this video and come on back once you finish watching on Disney Plus. And there you have it. That is your warning. And let's get into it. Now, I thought the first 3 episodes of Ironheart was pretty good. What I really liked about it, it wasn't the tech, it wasn't the suit, but what really captured my attention was the human moments. The tragedy that Riri had to essentially go through, witnessing her stepfather and her best friend dying.
Yeah.
And that kind of shaped her into like how she speaks to people, the way she acts. I like that the show didn't shy away from making their like titular hero a selfish person.
Yeah.
She acted very selfish throughout basically the entire series. And so I like that they didn't shy away from that. And that is what I really liked about the first 3 episodes. And I was excited to see where the final 3 would go. But as you know, it's got to like wound up to doing some. It's a Marvel show.
Yeah, so it has to build up to that climactic build and have that kind of like Marvel ending to it.
Yes.
But honestly, that was the thing that I really did like about the first 3 episodes as well, were the characters, the character interactions, the character development. I kind of liked where the direction of like the Hood and the direction of like the whole motley group of criminals was going, because it seemed like it was going to be very interesting. It was going to build up these characters a little bit more and be very character driven going forward.
And so let's talk about some of the new characters we met in episode 4, and I absolutely loved meeting them. Zelma and her mom, I think is Maddie or Madeline. They're magic.
Yes.
So it was completely unexpected. Again, neither one of us have read the Ironheart comic books, so we don't know her origin. We don't know if this is like kind of exclusive to the show that Disney Plus decided to do, and this is the direction they're taking. But I thought the magic was going to be more of Parker's jam. And I didn't know that there was going to be like another element of like characters that would come in that'll also possess magic. So when she vamped them from
into their little pocket dimension,
I was like,
oh, that's
what
pretty
in
cool.
the Agatha Harkness is going on? I loved it.
Yeah, because honestly, that is something that's always really fun in Marvel. I think they did a great job with it in Agatha, but to have this magic user and this tech user and the potential for this to kind of be like, hey, how can we work together? How can we get this to do what we want it to do? I thought was just very exciting. I loved the characters. I thought they were really fun just to kind of hang around with.
Yeah.
And just the way she was using magic, and she looked like she really knew what she was doing and that she was a prodigy. So I was really excited to see where this character was going to go.
Yeah, and of course they continued on with a lot of the human moments for episodes 4, 5, and 6. Everything that we liked about 1 through 3 carrying forward. And then honestly, for me, that's really like the positives I had. I thought the writing fell so flat for these final 3 episodes, with the exceptions of like parts of the finale. I actually didn't mind the finale as much. We'll get to that, the big dude, in a second. But I just felt that the dialogue, it like took a step backward.
Yeah, it became
for some reason
very simple, very convenient. It seems like they wanted to
really
get to
convenient.
It was all convenient timing, all convenient dialogue, and it was just very simple. I feel like there wasn't the character progression just stopped at the end of episode 3, and it's like, okay, we now have our bad guy with his evil intention, and we just didn't get. I mean, there was reveals, but I feel like those reveals just weren't a payoff. You know, it's kind of like one of those things you're like, oh, I bet it's this right
feels
before
incomplete.
it happens. Yeah,
it feels incomplete. Like,
to like when they revealed the Hood's dad, and I'm like, oh, it's his dad.
Not to mention
and then
they look like they could be related.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But there was nothing that really was the build up to actually get that payoff to actually hit home. There was no sympathy for the Hood and the relationship between his dad, besides his dad is obviously a jerk.
Yeah, and like like super filthy rich. And speaking of the Hood and his dad, I guess I'll also say I am so disappointed with, and again, as someone who has not read the comic, so like maybe the comic book does the Hood better, but I just wanted so much more from that character.
Yeah.
With the power that the Hood was going to offer him. And I felt like he was marketed as the main big bad, which I guess in a small way he still was, but I felt like
he was a henchman.
Almost. I felt like Zeke became a little bit more of, you know, that baddie for a little bit, and everything was still kind of telegraphed. Like, we kind of were thinking, okay, Riri really screwed him over, accidentally, but still screwed him over because he was trying to resist. Like, I can't help you. I can't be linked to any of this stuff. What happens? He goes to jail because of her. So naturally, he's angry at her, right?
Yeah,
and there's revenge, and I was like, cool. They're setting up like the next generation of like Stark and Obadiah like face off sort of thing, even though I know she's not a Stark, but it's like Stark. It's Iron Suit versus an Obadiah, a Stain character.
Yeah, I mean, and they did kind of get to that point to where at the very end, after their big battle, right before she goes off and fights the Hood, you know, there was that, well, I help you, but we're not done yet. But there still wasn't that. I'm like, okay, that's where you wanted to go, but you didn't get us to really care about it up to that point.
I felt like he wasn't angry enough to like keep going after her.
Yeah, exactly.
He could have just offed her, and then we wouldn't have a show. But like, he could have, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like in that moment, I liked him as a baddie. I was like, yes, like you should be. You rightfully so. You were angry. Like, she really messed up your life, and then he kind of like couldn't do it out of the goodness. I don't know. Don't
let me see you around here again, McFly, kind of a thing. But I honestly, I feel like if they did have a big battle, there could have been a moment to where, like, they even talked about it when he was talking to the Hood, and how Clown said it happened was the fact, knocked her down underneath a whole bunch of rubble. I'm like, okay, why don't we have that? Ezekiel, I mean, he thinks that he killed her, and then he's like, you know what? I'm done. I've settled my business. Everyone thinks that he's done, and then the Hood takes him over. Yeah, and he's like, dude, I did what you wanted. Because deep down, he knows that he didn't actually fulfill his end of the bargain.
I see.
But if he truly thinks, hey, no, I killed her. She's underneath rubble, but she, of course, survives. And then you still took control over me? There's going to be
two people in the show would have screwed him over.
Yeah. And then he still, of course, has that anger and rage towards Ironheart, towards Riri, and now he has it towards the Hood, who...
That could have set up for like a great like conflict later on in the MCU if they decide to use these characters. So like that was really disappointing to kind of feel like it wasn't fulfilled to its fullest potential. I felt like they were rushing through to get to the big bad. Which was, how often have we said this? It was Mephisto
since
all along.
WandaVision. Everyone was on the Mephisto train, and ever since then, anytime there was a magical bad guy, we're like, it's Mephisto, and then you're like, oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But they finally threw him in there.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like we saw it coming a mile away.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, we did joke about it. I don't know if it made it into the video for episodes 1 through 3 when we talked about it. But I know you and I definitely had the conversation.
Yeah.
But we always talk about it just because I feel like it's a carrot being dangled in front of our face.
Yeah.
For years. We're just kind of like, we'll just speak it into existence. And then we became like, let's just talk about it because it's an ongoing joke.
It did become an ongoing joke.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and that's why I feel like it didn't quite land as good as it could have when he says, some call me Mephisto.
Literally, the moment he showed up, I looked at us and I was like, Mephisto.
That's
right?
him.
But Mephisto.
But even with the cloak, before they even had the Dormammu red herring, they'll go, oh no, it's all about Dormammu. It's Dormammu. And I'm going, no, it's not. It's not Dormammu. You're throwing this out there so we don't go, oh, obviously it's Mephisto. But especially when Sacha Baron Cohen sat down, I'm like, he looks like the freaking comic book.
With his damn eyebrows.
Honestly,
hair.
If you took Sacha Baron Cohen and put him in the makeup, just a little bit of makeup of Mephisto, I'd be like, that's comic book. That's pretty darn accurate.
Yeah.
So once I saw him, I was like, okay.
It's Mephisto. But he had to say it for us to be like, okay, finally, it's confirmed.
I do like the fact that they do kind of bring him off as like the deal maker, because that's very much what he is like in the comics. But also, the one moment that I thought would have been really compelling was the fact when he sits down with the Hood, when he sits him down and has this, what does your heart truly desire?
The devil trying to make a deal.
Yeah,
I was
a little
Lucifer.
bit of Lucifer in there. And I was like, this was the moment for them to just have us start attaching to the Hood and be able to see him more of a sympathetic character for what he did. And just the fact that he didn't know what he wanted. And I'm kind of like, you could have built it off, I want my father's respect by being greater than him in every way.
Yeah, he made it kind of vague, like, I want to be filthy, dirty, greasy, rich.
Yeah.
I want to be king.
And I feel like he could have been done that. He could, since that moment had already been revealed to us, for him to say, I want his respect.
I just wanted Anthony Ramos to have more.
Yeah.
I know this man can act. Yeah, I was like, man, this guy's so talented. And he still did, like, acting wise, he was great. He was fine. But I wanted him to have more depth. Even more depth. Like, we saw glimpses of it, and I just felt like they didn't really quite get there. Same thing with Zeke or Joe. They didn't really quite get there. What they really accomplished was the community that kept on supporting Riri no matter what.
Yeah.
And I love that that's the human element of it that I really already liked from 1 through 3. So I really love that they continue to incorporate those moments that she has flaws, she has faults, she doesn't treat people right, she's selfish. But the community keeps showing up and say, hey, we're here for you, let us help you through it. But the person who has to take that step has to be her. They can't hold her hand. They can only be there for her when she's ready. So I just like seeing her slowly walking towards that, with the exception at the end where she's
making a really bad decision that everyone was like, don't do it.
But I mean, it lines up for the trauma that was her one obstacle that I guess she still couldn't quite overcome.
Yeah.
Was the loss of her best friend and her stepdad. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna play into the rest of the MCU, assuming that they will do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I hope so, because, like, I think there's a lot of cool stuff in there. You mentioned when we were watching the show when they were building Ironheart's suit version 2.0, 2.5.
Yeah, out of the car.
But with the magic incorporated in it. When Zelma kind of flared up magic, you said that it looked like Darkhold, like chaos magic.
Oh yeah, it really did. It really did look a lot like either Darkhold magic or Wanda magic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it would make sense too because Mephisto is that kind of chaos magic.
Ah.
So it looked very similar. I liked the design of it. I liked the way it looked. I really wish they would have explored a little bit more of the integration of tech and magic, because I've always loved that. When I play D&D, my favorite class is an artificer. Just the idea of having a magical Tony Stark is just such a cool idea.
We have to talk about the mid-credit scene.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which is Parker going into Zelma and her mom's shop looking for a little extra abracadabra.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, like, he definitely is craving to have that magic back, or trying to get the cloak back. I just wonder, like, Zelma likes to mess around with magic. Like, she's really into it.
Well, she was also very eager to jump. I don't know who you are, but yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, whoa, girl.
I think her like she can kind of be in that gray area where she's like good and bad.
Oh,
you know what I'm
Cool.
saying? Like, maybe a little bit corrupted by the excitement of magic. Maybe, I don't know. Hopefully she'll, like, talk to Parker and figure out who he is, and she'd be like, get out. Get out of my shop.
And I'm hoping that, I think they're going to take Parker and turn him into a, what is it called? Kind of like reform him as a villain, because, I mean, I want to, like we said before, I want to see him do more. I liked the character. I liked the actor. I just wish they would have done more with him.
You think he'll, like, try to exact revenge on not just Riri,
but on Mephisto?
Maybe. Imagine trying to take on a powerful villain like Mephisto. Like, that would be insane. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. See if they end up using any of this within the grander scheme of things of MCU. So, you guys, that is our overall spoiler thoughts on episodes 4 through 6 of Ironheart. Let us know your thoughts once you've seen this series. Well, I'm assuming you're watching this because you've already seen it. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.